everyone and welcome back to F1 2016 Career Mode. I am LoveSpuds and this is round 16 in Malaysia. The Sepang circuit no longer on the F1 calendar in 2018. This year, as I'm speaking, 2017 will be its last year on the calendar. It's a shame because I actually do enjoy the track a little bit, but not in the wet. Here we are then. After a good result out last time from McLaren, 1-2, but for Jensen's favour this time. The gap is now 17 points in the championship, and as we come to this track, it's quite an interesting track. It's not one of Spuds' strongest tracks. It was come into Asia. It's more of Spuds' weaker tracks in this particular game, and we will see that come to fruition in the next few races. But it's very, very tight at the top in the championship. We're on board here with Spuds on his lap, as we usually are. There's 24 seconds. We've got no one to compare it to at the moment, so you can just see how this lap goes, and then obviously we'll see where he starts. But again, it's not one of Spuds' strongest tracks, so the momentum looks like it's going to be in Jensen's favour for the next few races. But we will see. Spuds does put up quite a bit of a fight, a bit of a corner cut there, but never mind. It turned in a bit too early. So let's just see as we come up to the second sector time. The clouds are threatening up above, but there's no rain as of yet. Spuds is currently 3/10 down on Ricciardo. The Red Bull's coming back quite strong in the latter half of the season. They have not stopped developing their car, whereas McLaren have. And that's maybe to their detriment a little bit, either to Button or Spuds, because the car is static, as I say, in its development, and this could be an issue for Button or Spuds depending on who's in the lead and what remaining points are up for grabs. If we're battling the Red Bulls, then that could make things quite tasty as we come into the latter few stages here. So come across the line. Where does Spuds end up? He's currently 4th, Button's on pole, but let's see when we get to the starting grid. So I say, really tight at the top. I would not be surprised if this championship goes down to the wire. It's definitely possible. Jensen only 17 points ahead. He's got plenty of catching up to do, but that's by no means impossible for him. I love Spuds there with his non-existent team radio. Never mind, let's have a look at the starting grid. So, round 16, we have Jensen, Button and Ricciardo on the front row of the grid. Max Verstappen in 3rd, Lewis Hamilton in 4th. And Spuds actually qualified 5th there against Kimi Raikkonen and Vettel, the two Ferraris there. And Valtteri Bottas, who finished 3rd out in Singapore last time. You've got Grosjean down there in the top of the best of the rest, down in the bottom half of the field. And Sauber's not doing too badly. Felipe Massa not doing well at all. Nico Rosberg also didn't make it out of Q1 thanks to the rainy conditions. So that's your grid there for today. Usual suspects, a few people out of order on the grid there, but here we go, 5 lights and we're off. Let's go, let's see what happens today. So, who gets a good start? The Red Bulls get a fantastic start on Jensen, who really bogged down on the start there, and even Spuds is under pressure from the Mercedes of Hamilton there. So Button slips down to 3rd after his front row position there, and Hamilton gets ahead of Spuds as we go around first couple of corners. So two Red Bulls are actually fighting up front there, started 2nd and 3rd, have made the jump on Jensen Button there, and Jensen cannot afford in these last few races to fall back too far. But there you go, there's Spuds going past Hamilton as well. So he's reclaimed his position. So he's actually gone up a position down up into 4th now. So he's done okay for himself so far. After a good start from him, he did slip back but gained that position up to 4th. So we've got 2 Red Bulls, we've got 2 McLarens, Mercedes, Williams, and then the 2 Ferraris following up behind them. So let's have a look at the start of the race here. Let's just see what happened to Jensen. You can see the start wasn't too bad, but you can see he's not getting enough traction compared to the Red Bulls, who swamp in on both sides, both of his flanks, and they shut the door on him as they go down into turn 1. Not quite sure which one's on the left and which one's on the right there, but you got Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen fighting it out into the first couple of bends there, and one of them's just coming up on front now. So that would be Verstappen coming up. You can see how slowly Jensen gets away there. He gets mobbed on the run down to turn 1. Verstappen was on the right, Ricciardo on the left, as we run down into the first corner there. So that's how things started, and let's just see if any contact was made between the bulls. Whoop, almost close, very close, but no contact made. It's all clean as we go and finish down the first couple of corners here, first sector. There's a bit of phone buzzing away there. So back on board with Button on the second lap out of 28 here this afternoon. So Button and Spuds are both on the hard tyre, and that means the bulls were on the soft tyres. Now that could mean that there is going to be some strategy in play this afternoon. The second qualifying was wet, so I guess that allowed us to start on whichever tyre we like, not tyre, and that may have explained Jensen's poor start as well. The fact he's on a harder tyre would have been a bit of a detriment to him right now. Let's just go on board with Button. Spuds is going to make a move up the inside. He's going to fly on through. He's overcooked it a little bit, so Jensen's got a nice run into turn 2. Spuds does have the inside line, but can he hold it? Oh, not quite. Jensen goes back out in front there. So back on board with Spuds. He's under pressure from Bottas, who's on the soft tyre, and if he can defend from Bottas, he should be okay to make another move on Button. But it looks like he's getting really close to Button here as he comes around these very tricky curves. You need to be very precise on the amount of power you put in there. So Spuds goes a bit wide, so overcooks it slightly, but it's not too bad. As long as he stays in touch with Button, I think he'll be fine with that. But ideally, he'd want to not let the Red Bulls get too far away from him. Nor will Jensen want them to be too far away either. But we are fighting for the championship here, and it's against Button and Spuds. I don't think Ricciardo can come back now in the standings of the championship. But stranger things have happened, and I have not looked at the maths, so you never know. There's still a few races to go yet. But it's a monumental struggle if Ricciardo's going to be able to catch the McLarens in the championship. So as far as we're concerned, it is just Jensen and Love fighting it out here. You can see he's keeping him steady. A steady gap just under a second. DRS just about activated now, but Spuds did not have it on that lap. Unfortunately, he was just without a second, out with a second, however you want to say it. But Spuds is up the inside here, but Jensen has the inside for turn 2, and he takes the position back. So it's going to be a bit of a scrap here this afternoon, it looks like. The McLaren seem to be on a similar pace as Spuds comes back on the run up here, and is going to take that position quite easily. He obviously had a good run out of the second corner there. Spuds goes slightly wide there, as you can see a bit of dirt thrown up into the car's faces behind them. Not quite sure a car has a face, but definitely the driver does. And as you can see, Spuds is now free to chase after the bulls. Let's see if he can do anything. Jensen has slipped back a little bit, so he's not doing too well after his front row start, his pole position there. And here we are. Let's just see what Spuds or Jensen can do this afternoon. I think there may be an almighty scrap later on. If they're scrapping already, this could come to blows later on in the race. But it depends what sort of strategy the pair go for. Do they stay on the same strategy as each other, or do they just switch it up a little bit and maybe experiment a little bit? But just on having a look at the two bulls here, there's obviously something going on here. It looks like Verstappen will be looking to make a move on Ricciardo. You see it down on the run to turn 1, and here we are. It goes up the inside. DRS, pretty simple pass, but can Daniel do anything to come back at him? Let's just see. To see on the run down into turn 2. No, he's very much got Verstappen ahead of him there, and he'll have to try again on another lap. So a lot going on so far. Lap 5. Still a long way to go. Bottas has managed to get past Jensen, but I think Jensen No, he hasn't come into the pits. No, he's still out on track. And here comes Ricciardo back on Verstappen here. He's not let him get away as he comes up the inside around the final hairpin there. And a little bit of a tap. And he actually swipes him as he goes into the pits. Some may say that was unnecessary, but I guess Ricciardo is not a happy man for some reason. Can't think why that would be. But then again, this is the AI we're talking about. They're not exactly the best at making decisions. But there we are. That's Ricciardo into the pits for his first stop this afternoon. And Verstappen, Spuds and Button are all still out on track on the tyres they started on. So Verstappen will need to pit soon. The McLarens will inherit the lead, being on the longer lasting tyre. So let's just see how far they can push it, and we'll have to see what tyres the Bulls are on this afternoon when we can get a glimpse of them. So going around here we can just see the gaps. Just came up on the screen there. Let's see if another gap comes up. Let's see how far Verstappen is away. The trouble is with Verstappen, on my particular game, his dot does not show up on the map radar anymore. And it's just Verstappen, it happens every race. But for some reason, he is invisible. It's like he's got some sort of cloaking device on that Red Bull that we don't know about. But if you look at the map, you cannot see him at all. He's only 7.8 seconds up the road. But on the map, nowhere to be seen. It's a quality of life thing, but you know, it's a little bit annoying. Especially when you're trying to judge how far away he is on the map, but I don't really look at the map that often, if I'm honest. I'm concentrating on the race most of the time. I only look at it when I'm going down the straights, but here comes Button with his DRS open. That should be an easy pass for him, but can Spuds just come back around the outside, maybe cut back? Can he do that? You can see how close he is. He will have some slipstream, even though Button's got DRS. He has got very good straight line speed. Verstappen's in the pits there, so he's pulled in. So this is the battle for the lead just now, as Spuds goes up the inside. He manages to hold on to that position. He really wants that win. And Jensen has to settle for second so far. He is trying. They're both on the hard tyre, so they'll both roughly be pitting at the same time. But obviously the guy in front is going to have the choice on whether to stop first or not. So that should be interesting to see who's in front when the pit stop phase for the McLarens come around. And so there you go, Spuds 1, Button 2. Hamilton's still sitting pretty in third place with his medium tyres. So there's a lot of different strategies going on this afternoon. We'll only have to wait and see what's the best one. And here comes Button on Spuds again with his DRS. Actually hits Spuds a couple of times here. So Spuds gets out of the way. Jensen's been very aggressive here this afternoon. And then Jensen looks like he's going to go try around the outside, but Spuds does have the inside line and he's got a clear run into 2. So it all depends on the run out of this corner. But it looks like he's got away with it again. So Perez is up to 3rd, so that must mean that Hamilton's gone to the pits. And here comes Button again on Spuds. He actually hits him right up the back, but at the same time, this must be Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso here, who has retired from the race. His engine has gone, and the virtual safety car has been deployed. Excuse me. Right, so back to racing again. And Button's got a fantastic run on Spuds here. And Spuds is under a little bit of pressure. The hard tyres starting to wear away now, but Button has looked after his a bit more. And Button is pushing Spuds into something. He's pushed him. Actually made contact, as you can see on this camera angle here. And, yeah, pushed him. Spuds has braked early. And that has allowed Jensen to go around the outside. I think Spuds wanted to avoid an accident more than anything. But never mind, Spuds will come back on Button here. So Jensen being very aggressive this afternoon. He really wants to take that win today. And it's not surprising considering how far he is behind in the championship. But still within a race win. Someone could still retire. Someone's engine could blow up. You never know. And it could ruin someone's championship. But here comes Button into the pit. Spuds takes back the lead. And you can see on the sidelines here some popping people. They're popping in and out of existence. And that is lovely. And you've also got some rogue tyres in the pit lane here. You can just see them. There they are. There are 4 tyres just sitting on their own in the middle of the pit lane. Surely someone should get those moved. But there you go. Jensen is out again. And let's see what tyres he's on. I didn't quite see that. I think he's gone for another set of hards. If I could get my words out, that would be lovely. And Button is on another set of hards, so he's going to go deep again. And he should be stopping again, I would think, for another set later on down the line. Depends how those tyres last, but I don't think he can carry them through to the end. So lap 16, and Spuds does look like he's going to come into the pits here. So it does look like it. He's got his pit window open, so he's going to pull straight in. Yep, there he goes. And what tyres is he going to go for? As we see him slowing down for the pit lane speed limit of 80 kilometers an hour. And again, the people popping in and out. I wonder if the tyres are still there. Let's have a look. Oh yes, there they are in the distance. At least they're not getting in the way of my car. See, it's very perfectly positioned there. It's like someone forgot to attach the car. So what Spud's gone for, we'll have to wait and see. Again, I was looking at other things, and I should really be paying attention. Let's wait. Well, Spuds has gone for the soft tyre, so split strategy from McLaren here today, as Spuds goes for the softs and chases after Button on the hards, who is not actually that far up the road. So what Spuds needs to do, he needs to overtake Button and try and create as much as gap as possible if he's going to stop again this afternoon, which he will do, because the soft tyres won't last till the end of the race. No siree. And here comes Ricardo as well, coming into the pits. So he's had enough of his hard tyres. On a lap or whatever it is. Probably about 17 or 18. And we watch him, just on board with him. This car looks very weird. Looks like it's rocking from side to side, but there you go. And he goes for another set of hards. And he goes ploughing straight through the tyres. Luckily they don't exist, I suppose. I suppose that would have created chaos. But that's the 2 McLarens past the pit exit there. And they are second and third. That would assume... I would assume that Max Verstappen is currently in the lead. Rosberg's sitting in 4th there. He's somehow managed to get ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So he's doing alright. So there we are, lap 18 it was. Yep, I thought it was around that mark. And Verstappen will probably need to pit at some point. It's just a matter of seeing where he is and when he stops. So here we are. Spuds is coming up with his soft tyres. Should be an easy pass on Jensen here with DRS. And you would expect Spuds to be faster as well. So just see how far Spuds can go on these tyres. Button should be able to last quite a bit longer, but again, it's split strategies. McLaren are not putting their eggs all in one basket. They're seeing what Jensen and Spuds can do. They're letting them race, which is the main thing. No team orders in this team, especially with a championship on the line here. And it won't be long before they wrap up the constructors as well. It'll either be this race or next race that they can wrap it up. Here we are on board with Spuds again, a lap or 2 down the line, lap 20. Spuds is currently leading with Button in 2nd. And it looks like Button is not far away. Ricardo's gone for the hards, like I said earlier. So he is a little bit down the road. He's still in the 2nd sector there with Spuds and Ricardo. Oh yep, 17 seconds down the road from Button is Ricardo. It looks like Button's going to make a move because it seems that Spuds' tyres are actually going off, and they would be going off faster than the harder compound today. They are 2 compounds harder, so it would be quite a difference. You think Spuds maybe should have gone for the mediums, but maybe not. Maybe not. Soft tyres aren't too bad. They gave him some speed to catch up to Button, but now Button's got that DRS open, and can he make a move down into turn 1. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go up the inside, and he's going to make it work. Yes, I think he is. Spuds cannot quite hold on. He did try and come back there, but he was just not quite got the room or the momentum to carry that round the outside. But Spuds has got a great run out of here. Can he go up the inside? Does look like he's going to. Yep, he's not going to give up that easy. Spuds does not give up until it's over. A little bit of contact as he went round the corner there, but Spuds has got back in front again, and that's where he does need to be. That is exactly where he needs to be. He needs to be in front of Jensen if he has any hope of getting a win or a podium today. But ideally, he'd rather be a bit further up the road. But it does look like Jensen's going to come back on him. Oh, it bashes him again as we go around the corner. Jensen goes around the outside, so he's got the inside line here, and he makes it work. Very good. Very good show there. And everyone stays on track. No broken pieces, no broken wings. Only maybe a dent in Spuds' pride there. There you go. It's an almighty scrap here this afternoon. They're going at it hammer and tongs. And Jensen is meaning business. Let's see. Can he come back? Can Spuds come back up the inside? See, he's not given up yet. And there's two different types of tyres. There is an almighty fight going on. Spuds didn't quite make it past there. As you can see him just there on his rear shot of Jensen's car. And he's going to come back again into turn 1. And can you believe this? Basically half the lap they've been fighting away. And Spuds does not want to give up the position. Probably taking out a little bit too much on the tyres here. And as Jensen goes up the inside, Spuds has to call it a day here, surely. Is he going to come back on the turn up here? Is he going to do it again? Is he? Well, he's going up the inside. He's just having a look, but he can't quite do it. Those tyres are starting to get shot. There we go, but Spuds is still hanging on to the back of Jensen there. This is fantastic stuff. I never quite realised how intense this fight was, actually. This has been recorded for a couple of months now, and I've only just gotten around to commentating on it, thanks to other commitments, but wow, that was some battle in the last couple of laps there. Lap 22 is still not over yet. You see Jensen Button not getting away from Spuds here, and then where's Ricardo? Let's just have a look at the gap here when they come round to the sector line. So Button not getting that far away. Spuds is still within touching distance, and still a 16.1 second gap to Ricardo. So Ricardo's keeping it steady, and Button may actually be being held up by Spuds and having this battle with him. So it could bring Ricardo into play, considering that the two McLarens both still need to make a pit stop. You can see how bad the tyre wear is there. 41% on Spuds' front left there. Let's just see. Is that Button coming in? Yes, he is. Button pulls into the pits. Spuds regains the lead of the Grand Prix, and now is where it counts. Spuds will be looking for a good lap. Those tyres have been moved, which is excellent. Good stuff. Good, good, good. And let's have a look. What is Jensen going to go for? What's his final tyre going to be this afternoon? It is going to be the soft tyres. He's going for the softs. What can he do? Can he catch up to Spuds again? Spuds will stop again. His tyres are approaching the cliff, and there's a Red Bull just gone past there. Who is that? That's most likely going to be Ricardo. Can't quite catch the name or the number there. Oh no, it's Verstappen. Verstappen's got ahead, so there's two Red Bulls in between the two McLarens here, in some sort of bull beef sandwich with Spuds on top. That's kind of weird, but never mind. So 15 seconds, basically 16, separates Spuds and Ricardo here. So even if Spuds stops, he will still be behind Ricardo. And lap 23 of 28, it's going to be a bit dicey. It's going to be a bit dicey. Ricardo and Verstappen are on hard tyres, so I would think Spuds is going to opt for a softer tyre. than the hard. Maybe a medium or another set of softs. But Spuds has come around again to start another lap. Maybe thinks he can go again. Let's just have a look, see what he's doing. He's just checking on his teammate there. I wanted to see if he was going to set his next set of tyres there. But never mind, we're just going to go straight down the line, and we've actually caught up to Verstappen here. Even with his... Oh my god, have I just missed a pit stop? I have. Well, excuse the editing mistake, but there was a pit stop in there, and he was gone, and Spuds has gone for the soft tyres again. So that brought him out behind Verstappen, and now he has caught up to Verstappen, and now he's chasing after Spuds. Button, should I say? So let's just think how that happened. Right, so Button got past Verstappen at some point. Spuds went for a pit stop, and now Spuds is chasing after Button after taking Verstappen. So that's really worked out well, and doesn't really showcase my editing skills very well, but never mind. Here's Button coming up to Daniel Ricciardo. Now it looks like the McLarens are making a move now this afternoon. They're on the soft tyres, they're both on the soft tyres. It looks like the strategy's paying off quite well for Jensen here. As we come down the main straight, down into turn 1. Looks like Jensen's going to be making up ground pretty rapidly on Ricciardo. Ricciardo's hard tyres would have done quite a few laps against Jensen's fresher, more grippy set. And you can see the gap closed quite substantially there. And looks like we're on the final lap actually, thinking about it. Surely we're not on a final lap. No, we can't be on a final lap. Surely not. It's either lap 27 or 28 here, but Spuds will be in the background somewhere, chasing after these two, and he will be hoping that these two will be fighting out as hard as possible here this afternoon. So the final lap here. I swear it's the final lap. It must be. No, it can't be. No, it's not the final lap. Just excuse my ineptitude in commentary. I wish I'd made some notes for this one, like I usually do, but not to be. You can see how close Button is to Ricciardo, and it's only a matter of time before he gets the slipstream and goes straight past. Yep, here we go, on board with Button now, as he makes a move for the lead of the Grand Prix. Here we go, so straight up the side, no dramas. Braking down is the hairpin, no lockups, and simples as we come round to start the final lap of the Malaysian Grand Prix. Button is ahead, Ricciardo is second, Spuds third, and Verstappen in fourth. See, Spuds not far away, look at him, he's just coming down to the first turn now as Jensen and Ricciardo are going round it. You can see that extra grip from those soft tyres are really paying dividends here at the moment for the McLarens. Not quite the right strategy for the Red Bulls, and here's traffic up ahead, and a very, very slow manner. I don't know what's happened to him there, but there's obviously quite a big problem with that car. And is this traffic going to play a part in the result today? You can see Jensen, Ricciardo, both being held up by this traffic. You can see Spuds just in the background there. He will pick up on any of this. And the back markers not being very helpful now. Not getting out of the way, and Spuds in the background now. Oh, Jesus! I didn't even have any words for that. The Renault nearly took out Spuds. But cat-like reactions from Spuds there to avoid that one. Jesus, that was close. The Sauber and the Renault getting tangled up there as they run down a turn. Whatever it is. As you can see, Spuds comes out of nowhere. It actually bashes right into Jensen there, so Ricciardo's lost that second place. And is it possible for Spuds to get into the lead here? He's gonna have a go. It's on the last lap, last corner. DRS open. He's gonna come up the inside. Looks like he's made the move. Jensen, he's right there. Oh, it's just a run for the line. What's he gonna do? He's gonna finish first. Oh, Spuds wins in Malaysia. Spuds wins in Malaysia. Who saw that one coming? Ricardo ends up third, Button ends up second. Spuds comes through on the last 2 corners of the lap and muscles his way through. I guess it's some payback for what Jensen did to him during the race. It's going to be controversial. There's not going to be very many friendly words being said in the garage today, but that was ruthless from Spuds there, as he claims the victory in the full 25 points ahead of his teammate Jensen Button. Another McLaren at 1-2. Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen in 3rd and 4th there. But man, that was a very tense last couple of corners. Yeah, Spuds nearly got taken out by Renault and ends up winning the race. But as you can see, this is the driver standings. We've just had the race standings, and I'm almost lost for words. I'm just mumbling now. 24 points ahead now, Jensen. So Jensen's got some work to do as we head to Japan for the next round. But there you go. That's just how crazy it can be sometimes. It's just kind of weird. Red Bull have overtaken Mercedes for that 2nd place there. So they'll be looking to hang on to that position, but they're in a good position to get that 2nd place in the Constructors as we join the podium celebrations for what has been a very, very interesting race here today. Spuds lifts the trophy. Very gentlemanly clap from Jensen there, although he probably wants to smash that champagne bottle on my head. But anyway, join me next time for Japan. I'll see you then.